Welcome to the Folktale Project. This is Dan Schulz. Today's story is a North American folktale. It comes to us from Charles Skinner's Myths and Legends of Our Own Land and stars vampires. This is The Green Picture. In a cellar in Green Street, Schenectady, there appeared some years ago the silhouette of a human form, painted on the floor in mould. It was swept and scrubbed away, but presently it was there again, and month by month after each removal it returned, a mass of fluffy mould, always in the shape of a recumbent man. When it was found that the house stood on the site of the old Dutch burial ground, the gossips fitted this and that together, and concluded that the mould was planted by a spirit whose mortal part was put to rest a century and more ago, on the spot covered by the house, and that the spirit took this way of apprising people that they were trespassing on its grave. Others held that foul play had been done, and that a corpse, hastily and shallowly buried, was yielding itself back to the damp cellar in vegetable form, before its resolution into simpler elements. But a darker meaning was, that it was the outline of a vampire, that vainly strove to leave its grave, and could not, because a virtuous spell had been worked about the place. A vampire is a dead man who walks about seeking for those whose blood he can suck, for only by supplying new life to its cold limbs can he keep the privilege of moving about the earth. He fights his way from his coffin, and those who meet his gray and stiffened shape, with fishy eyes and blackened mouth, lurking by open windows, biding his time to steal in and drink up a human life, fly from him in terror and disgust. In northern Rhode Island, those who die of consumption are believed to be victims of vampires who work by charm, draining the blood by slow draughts as they lie in their graves. To lay this monster, he must be taken up and burned. At least, his heart must be, and he must be disinterred in the daytime when he is asleep and unaware. If he died with blood in his heart, he has this power of nightly resurrection. As late as 1892, the ceremony of heart-burning was performed at Exeter, Rhode Island, to save the family of a dead woman that was threatened with the same disease that removed her, namely, consumption. But the Schenectady vampire has yielded up all his substance, and the green picture is no more. And that is The Green Picture, an American folktale captured by Charles Skinner, and features the origin of vampires and a green mold and the link between tuberculosis and vampirism. This is Dan Schulz for the Folktale Project. Don't forget that you can subscribe to the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Google Play, anywhere that you like to get your podcasts. You can also follow us on Twitter at Folktale Project. You can find us on Auto Radio, TuneIn Radio, and iHeartRadio. And you can always head over to folktaleproject.com, where you'll find a new story waiting for you every weekday morning. Thanks for listening.